The hidden Toyota menu that unlocks 12 functions your dealer never mentions. On March 4th, 2025, a guy pulled his Tundra into my bay an hour before closing, frustrated in a way I had seen 100 times before. He was not there for a repair. He was there because every single day, when he climbed into his truck after work, his windows were still up, the cabin was a furnace, and he had to sit there sweating while the air conditioning slowly caught up. He had asked the dealer if there was any way to roll the windows down from the key fob before he got in. They told him his truck did not have that feature. Today, I am going to show you why that answer was a lie, and how almost every modern Toyota is hiding a menu of functions the factory built in. The dealer can unlock in about 90 seconds, and most owners never even hear about. Here is what I did for that man. I walked outside with him, took his key fob, pressed and held the unlock button for a few seconds, and every window in his truck slid down on its own. His jaw actually dropped. The feature had been in the truck since the day it left the factory. It was just switched off. 15 minutes later, he drove away with that feature on, plus 4 others he never knew existed, and it did not cost him a part, a labor hour, or a dime. That moment is exactly why this video matters. Because your Toyota is not the truck you think it is. It is far more configurable than the dealer ever lets on, and the reason you do not know that is not an accident. Let me explain how this actually works, because once you understand it, you will never look at your truck the same way again. Every modern Toyota ships with what is essentially a settings menu buried inside its computer. Not the screen on your dash. A deeper layer written into the body control module that governs how dozens of small behaviors operate. How long your headlights stay on after you walk away. How many times your blinker flashes when you tap the stalk for a lane change, whether your doors lock themselves when you shift into drive, whether your key fob can drop the windows on a hot day. None of these are hardware. They are software flags, little on or off switches sitting in your truck's memory, waiting to be flipped. And here is the part nobody tells you. The factory leaves most of them off by default. Not because your truck cannot do them, but because Toyota sets a conservative baseline and then hands the keys to the dealership. The tool that flips those switches is called TechStream. It is Toyota's official dealer software. It plugs into the same diagnostic port under your dash that a mechanic uses to read codes. And in the customization section, it lists every one of these functions in a tidy menu. Your dealer has it. Your dealer can change any of these in the time it takes to write up a coffee order. So why do not they? Here is the uncomfortable truth most owners never hear. A dealership runs on billable work, parts, labor, scheduled service, warranty claims. Spending 10 minutes flipping software switches for free on a feature that makes a customer happy but generates nothing on the invoice is time that does not pay. Salespeople genuinely do not know half of these exist. Service writers know, but they are measured on revenue per repair order, not on how delighted you are with your blinker. The result is a feature set you already paid for, sitting dormant, because nobody in the building has a reason to mention it. It is not a conspiracy, it is just incentives, and the person those incentives fail is you. Now let me actually walk you through what is in that menu, because once you know the names of these functions, you can ask for them by name, and a dealer has a much harder time telling you they do not exist. Function 1 is the one that started this whole story. Remote window control. On most Toyotas built in the last decade, Holding the unlock button on your key fob can roll every window down, and holding the lock button can roll them back up. On trucks and SUVs with a moonroof, it can open that too. It is perfect on a blazing day in a parking lot, and it costs nothing to enable. Function 2 is auto-locking. You can set your truck to lock all the doors automatically the moment you shift into drive, or when you reach a few miles per hour. If you've ever forgotten to lock up and worried about it at a stoplight, this solves it permanently. Function 3 is the companion to it: auto unlock. You can have the doors release on their own when you shift into park or pull the key. No more fumbling for the handle with your arms full of groceries. Function 4 is the lane change blinker. By default, when you lightly tap the stalk, your Toyota flashes 3 times. A lot of owners find that is too few to actually clear a lane on the highway. You can bump that to 5. It sounds tiny. It is one of the most requested changes I do, because once you live with it, 3 feels broken. Function 5 is turn signal volume. That clicking sound when your blinker is on? It's not a relay, it's a speaker, and the volume is adjustable. Too loud and annoying or too quiet to notice you left it on. Either way, it can be dialed in. Function 6 is the lock confirmation. You can change how your truck acknowledges a lock command: the beep, the horn chirp, the flash, and how loud they are, or whether they happen at all. Great if you have neighbors and a 5 a.m. shift. Function 7 is your automatic headlight sensitivity. If your truck has automatic headlights, there is a threshold that decides how dark it has to be before they come on. You can make them trigger earlier in dim conditions, like overcast mornings or in covered parking, instead of waiting until it is almost fully dark. Function 8 is your headlight off delay, sometimes called follow me home lighting. This controls how long your headlights stay on to light your path after you have shut the truck off and walked away. You can extend it so you are not crossing a dark driveway in the cold. Function 9 is interior lighting. The dome light fade, how long the cabin stays lit after you close the door, the gentle dim out, all of that is adjustable. Function 10 is unlock behavior. You can decide whether the first press of the unlock button opens just the driver's door or all of them at once. A small security choice that is genuinely useful if you park in places where you would rather only one door pop open. Function 11 on trucks with a smart key is your walk away and approach behavior, how the truck handles locking itself when you step away and how it wakes up as you come back. The defaults are fine, but they are not the only option. And function 12 is the seatbelt reminder. I will be straight with you here, because this channel is about giving you accurate information, not telling you what you want to hear. The chime can be softened or adjusted, and a lot of owners ask for it, especially folks who pull forward 30 feet to grab the mail or move a truck around a property. But that chime exists for a reason, and on public roads, your belt should be on every time. I will give you the truth about what is possible and let you make the grown-up decision. That is the deal. Now here's something important, and it's where I separate what I do from the nonsense you'll find online. Some of these settings you can change yourself. Many Toyota owners buy an inexpensive third-party plug-in tool that connects to that same port and exposes a chunk of this customization menu through a phone app. It works, and for the simple stuff, it's perfectly safe. But I want you to understand the line. These are real settings written into your truck's modules. Flipping the harmless ones, blinker count, window control, light timing, is no different than changing a setting on your phone. But that same port can reach deeper systems, and somebody poking around blindly can absolutely confuse a module that was working fine. So the rule is simple. The comfort and convenience functions I just listed are low risk. Anything touching safety systems, airbags, braking, or anything you don't fully understand, leave it alone or let someone qualified handle it. Knowing what's safe to touch is just as important as knowing it's there. And while we're talking about hidden things your dealer doesn't advertise, let me give you a real one, because this isn't just about comfort toggles. Your truck has an actual hidden diagnostic menu built into the head unit. On a lot of Toyotas with the older Entune style systems, you can hold the audio button and cycle your headlights off and on 3 times, and a service menu appears that the factory never put in your owner's manual. It's not a gimmick. It shows you live system voltage, raw sensor data, GPS satellite information, and the communication status between your modules. The same kind of information a technician uses to chase down an electrical gremlin. On some trucks, you can even pull up a tire pressure readout that's otherwise buried. The only way out is to shut the truck off, which tells you how deep in the system you really are. There's a second one too. Many Toyota instrument clusters have a self-test built into the cell reset button. Hold it down, run a specific sequence with the headlights and ignition, and the cluster will sweep every gauge and light up every warning lamp in order, so you can confirm the cluster itself is healthy. If you've ever wondered whether a gauge that's acting strange is a real problem or just a bad cluster, that test answers it in 30 seconds, for free. Now think about why none of this is common knowledge. It's the same pattern as the warning light scare, the same pattern as the unnecessary part replacement. A truck full of capability that the average owner never accesses, because accessing it doesn't generate revenue for anyone but you. The information isn't secret because it's dangerous. It's quiet because it's free. And here's what changes once you know all this. You stop being a passenger in your own ownership. The next time you're buying a Toyota, you walk into the dealership with a list. You ask, by name, for the window down fob function, the auto lock, the 5 flash blinker, the headlight delay. A good dealer will do it before you drive off, often at no charge, because you asked specifically, and they have no easy way to pretend it can't be done. The ones who already own their trucks stop assuming the factory settings are the only settings. You start seeing your Toyota as what it actually is, a configurable machine that was handed to you with half its personality switched off. I've watched people light up over this the same way that guy with the Tundra did. Not because I sold them anything, because they realized the truck they'd been driving for 3 years could do things they'd been quietly wishing for the whole time, and all it took was someone willing to tell them the truth. So before you accept that your Toyota just doesn't do that, before you assume the dealer would have mentioned it if it existed, remember this. The menu is already in your truck. The switches are already there. You paid for every one of them. All anybody has to do is turn them on. If this opened your eyes to what your truck is actually capable of, hit that like button so more Toyota owners stop leaving features on the table. Subscribe if you want weekly breakdowns that put you back in control instead of in the dark. And if you've got a Toyota and you didn't know about even one of these 12 functions, tell me in the comments which one surprised you most. Because the most expensive thing about owning a great truck isn't the repair bill. It's everything you're paying for and never using. And now you know how to take it back.